Good afternoon, everybody. We are here. It's finally happening. This is CCSW playoffs, the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm Brimstone, of course, and I'm joined by Jess and Haps. How's it going, guys?
Great.
Yeah, I'm
Excited
doing
to be
fine as
here.
well.
Yeah,
Oh,
you missed
yeah.
a few games with us there, Jess. How does it feel coming back in? You excited for this?
Look, absolutely. I do catch a lot of the games after my own team's games, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'm very excited to see how these girls shape up.
Yeah, and Haps back again with us here.
Yeah, I'm back again, indeed. Yeah, no, Stone have asked me to come by, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'm up for it, up
Yeah,
to do the
sure. Why
finals
not?
because it's
Yeah,
it's the thing everybody's working to eventually
yeah,
as well. So
yeah. It could be a good time. I mean, I think it
yeah, it could be
probably
a good
will.
time. I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
well,
who
maybe.
knows? Like maybe
Maybe,
it's a good
maybe.
time. Maybe we can try out, right?
Yeah, I'll drop by if I can. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll drop by.
But
I'll check my schedule.
we do have some exciting matches ready today. We've got two best of three matches. The first one, of course, today we are going to be seeing Team Queen go up against Team Endpoint, and of course, we'll also see Spies going up against North Sea Gaming. Team Queen is that first seed team coming in, with Endpoint being the fourth seed. Spies and North Sea Gaming going up against each other at the second and third seed there. This will be a first interesting match, though. The Team Queen versus Team Endpoint. I think this will be maybe the least closest match that we'll see out of the ones today. And no knock on Team Endpoint by any means there. It's just Team Queen has been so good this season. They're undefeated. They've just, smashed everyone they've come across. And Endpoint has put up some good matches as well. In fact, since being named Team Endpoint, they've actually gone 4-0. So technically a little bit of an undefeated streak as well, although the roster itself hasn't changed since that point. So we've got some exciting matchups. Now, I'll throw this to you, Haps. Out of these two matchups, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Ooh.
Second one, for
The second
sure.
one? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say because it's gonna be like a very close one, Spice versus
Mhm.
NSG.
Hmm.
Um, also know some people from the Benelux in there, so we gotta have like that little bit of patriot. Gonna be that
Mhm.
Dutch pride right here. No, but no, I think it's gonna be the closest because if you look at the round differential of Queens as well, I believe it was 63-17 or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, just out of the top of my head, not sure if that's completely correct, but that does hint that they don't lose many rounds. So I don't think they're here coming up to the finals to, start giving them away now.
Yeah, definitely. And the interesting thing about those two teams as well is they actually have the exact same round differential. They're both plus 25. The score lines are slightly different, but I mean they've had almost identical seasons with same score, same point differential. And interestingly enough, they've also been flipping back and forth between those second and third seeds, while Team Queen has been retaining that first spot all along.
Hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see. Do you think Team Queen is, partial to going up against one of these teams in particular?
Oh goodness! Look, I think Team Queen has shown dominance and reigns supreme, especially because a lot of these women have been playing before. And I do want to highlight that a lot of people say, "Oh well, there's a lot of disparity between the competitive prowess of some of these women in Team Queen, and then further down the leaderboard." But these women have been playing at higher levels for a long time now, so I think they're very much used to this competitive environment. So I do think that there are teams, especially in the top four, that can give Team Queen a run for their money, but I think it's just too early to give them a big run for their money at the moment, especially in a best of three where I think Team Queen can reign supreme for today.
Like talking about Team Queen, I remember the majority of the roster also played, I believe, in like the first season of Rainbow Six Against Cancer, which is like 2.5 years ago or something, right? So I mean that just shows how long they're all together already, and if there's one thing that is increasing your level of play is just consistency, like staying together, working on your problems because you
Mm.
start learning each other, you create synergy, stuff like that. So Queen definitely has like 5 steps forward compared
Mm.
to the well competition.
Well, and as we've seen throughout the season, and it's been on both the EU side and the NA side, all of these teams, we talk about those teams up top that reign supreme, your Team Queen in Europe here, Spies, North Sea Gaming, but all of the other teams have gotten so much better as the year has
Mm.
gone on. And as you're saying, Haps, I think it's that synergy. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they're improving as players, but they're improving as teammates as well. They're really coming together. learning each other, learning the other teams, and getting better. And as the years progressed, we've seen better and better play from these teams. And then that's where we're at this point here, where we've come into the playoffs with so much excitement because it should be very, very good. And I personally, I would say more so now in this moment, I would think that Team Queen, although they're the favorites obviously to win the playoffs, I feel less confident about that now than I would have probably at the earlier point in the season, just because Spies, North Sea Gaming, and Endpoint have all shown what they can do throughout the year. But let's talk about this match coming up a bit more here. Team Queen going up against Team Endpoint that we'll be going into. Now let's take a quick look at the rosters. First, we have Team Queen featuring Shishka, Mia, Shadow, Kitty, and Luna. As we say week to week, all 5 are big names going up against Team Endpoint, and they'll have Midnight, Lua, Izzy, Aztec, and Panda, all formidable players themselves. I'll throw this to you, Jess. With Team Endpoint, what are they going to have to do? Is it going to come down to their choice of maps? Is it going to come down to their play, VOD reviews? What's the most important thing that they need to focus on to try and take this away from Team Queen somehow?
Look, I think for Team Queen, they're confident. They're mechanically confident and they're strategically confident. And if you go against a team like that who's going to move swiftly and fast, and you want to be the kind of team that holds those angles, that gives you, I guess, the more superior angle on them before they can get you. And I think with a team like Queen, it's hard to find those gaps. But if Team Endpoint want to win, that's what they're going to have to put up against if they want to try and get some kills on the round, or they're going to have to use their utility to outsmart and outplay Team Queen before they can get on site. But I think those few minutes in a round are far more than enough for Team Queen to get in and get the job done.
Definitely. Now, talking about maps, because we'll get into the map ban here shortly. Is this an instance? You've obviously got a plethora of more experience than myself, Jess. So when they get into these maps here, does Endpoint want to take this to a map that maybe they haven't seen Team Queen on? Because I mean, Team Queen being undefeated, obviously they have VOD reviews on certain maps, but on the ones they haven't seen at all, at least Team Queen hasn't won on those maps. So maybe they have a chance there, or are they going to go with the ones kind of like the devil you know?
Yeah, look, I think as far as Team Endpoint's concerned, they'll be wanting to go to maps that they could probably look back on. I think if you go against a team that seems to have a lot of confidence regardless of the map, you want to be sure about at least some of the things that they do. So if I was on the team, I would turn around to them and say, hey, we got to pick maps that we can counter, we can review, we can go over and counter strategize. And I hope that's what we'll see today from Team Endpoint, because I know a lot of the women on that team, and I know a lot of the support staff that have been around that team as well, and the organization that picked them up. So they've got a lot to prove, and I believe that that's probably what they will have done for today's matchup.
Definitely. Well, I'm sure we're all excited to get into it. I want to find out where we're playing for each of these maps here. So let's get into that now. Guys, take it away.
All right.
Alrighty, Hap. What's going on?
Yeah.
Bring me those map vetoes, Hap. You've been awfully quiet for the past 30 seconds.
No, nothing was asked to me. All right, I was just waiting my turn, you know. But just looking back onto the season, I think Endpoint should be bringing a map like Clubhouse in, considering that was, I believe, the only map where Queen dropped more than 4 rounds in a match, and it was against Team Sphinx, if I'm not mistaken, as well. The team that was all the way on the bottom. So shows that they have been shaken up a little bit there. In the meantime, we do see console and border both being removed, so Clubhouse still open.
God, not a surprise seeing Border out, Hap, actually, because I remember going up against Team Queen myself all the way back in another women's league that was run by Bercy himself. And Border was actually the one map where we did kind of well, but we got destroyed anyway. So Border going off the board, not a surprise. And Team Endpoint had some good runs on Border as well, and some not so good runs. So I think that's something they want to get off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what I was thinking as well is you need to get those maps that you need feel most comfortable. And for Endpoint, that seems to be Villa as they're picking that one up. We decided to go for Cafe, and well, Cafe is a map that, in my opinion, suits aggressive teams pretty well. If you know how to approach the attack, and with Queen being superior, so to say, on the mechanically skilled and the strategy wise, then I think Cafe will definitely be a good map for them, depending on where they start off, of course.
Absolutely. Not a surprise that Clubhouse is the decider. I would have thought actually one of the teams would have picked it, but
Yeah.
it did come down to the decider. And Cafe being picked by Team Queen, I think that's such a dangerous map for Team Queen to have picked first, actually, because if Team Endpoint play far more strategically and they use verticality rather than, mechanical skill, which I assume Team Queen will want to run, then they might come up against some trouble there, but they might be able to lock them out of the site. There's only 2 ways to rotate back to a lot of these sites, and
Yeah,
if Team
definitely.
Queen are in and they lock it off, it could be over. So
Yeah, it's like Cafe is going to be either going like very well for Queen or it will be their downfall. Like, it really depends on how Endpoint is going to be approaching this. If they're really just going to go and try to take the gunfights, try and challenge the skylights and the hatches, for example, I think Queen will definitely be able to take it down. So they really need to be able to use the vertical gameplay and the roam clear to their best of opportunities to make sure that those rounds will be in their favor instead of the other way around. So.
God, well, I think it's happening, Hap. I think we are finally getting into our first playoff game here, ladies and gentlemen. I have been waiting months and months for this day. I know everyone else has been waiting. Good luck to these women. We're going to head straight into Cafe and we'll see what the bands are going to be.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of bans that you can run here, but the Thatcher is going to be the first one. Actually, kind of like that. Really removes an element of the game. Like, I think Thatcher is a very impactful ban. Especially if you're playing against teams who haven't scrimmed or have not scrimmed without. For example, Thatcher, Jaeger, kind of the same idea right there. Right now, as there is no replacing operator yet, so really like that one from Queen.
A nomad band coming out from Team Endpoint. That is not a surprise actually whatsoever. I mean, you want to be able to have the opportunity to run out, play aggressive. You can fight fire with fire sometimes, and it can be super effective. So I'm wondering if that is Endpoint's strategy here today on Cafe.
Yeah, it definitely will spell some runouts coming out. As, of course, Nomad is the one that counters it off, but also allows you to rotate back to site easier if you need to, because Nomad is often used to cancel those rotations out. And then we do see a very, normal Maestro / Miraben coming in to end things off. Like, sometimes it's Echo, sometimes it's Maestro, but the Mira is basically always off the board.
Absolutely.
So, defense, pretty standard, so to say. The attack, actually, surprising.
Yeah, look, reading Room and Fireplace coming out as number 1. I wouldn't have picked that as the first site that they would go, but it does look like they want to throw off the opposition because you need a lot of soft breach for a site like Reading Room if you want to be able to take top floor. They did decide to bring the sledge there on Aztec, and they've got Sophia, and I'm going to assume the IQ also has breaching charges, so there is a lot of soft breach potential, but they've got to get that top floor first, and we got Shadow and Shiskara on those roaming rolls, so we'll see how that goes.
Attackers need to locate and
it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I kind of like the fact when people decide to not go to the main site first, because it changes up the entire way that the game will be developing. We saw it a lot in Challenger League by teams as BDS and Forts who did that consistently against, for example, Secret, Trust Gaming, Syzygy, and managed to actually consistently get those rounds in as well. And it basically already puts you on, puts the opposing team on the back foot, because then you have your 2 main sites that you can run, and you don't have to worry about the tertiary bomb site, which will be coming right after because you already got it. So you get like an extra point, so to say, on the board. So I'm interested to see if that is what they're running here as well, if this is considered their tertiary bomb site, and that they want to have it out of the way first to go into the next part of the half more comfortably.
A very extended defensive setup by Team Queen here. In fact, they're holding pretty much all of top floor like you would usually see on a top floor defense. And if End want to get in, it's almost as if they're going to have to take out almost the entirety of Team Queen if they want to take this top floor control. So we'll see whether or not they're able to do that, but they'll start up on the hatches and likely get some intel and make their way in.
And they'll be quickly checking things out with the electronic sensors. Hopefully find out one of the pests right there, indeed. I'll be able to pick them up as of, I believe the dock is playing on that, far A side, if we would say it's top floor, of course. has a camera as well. Kitty there, very good position. Not sure if there's an ADS in that place because otherwise a grenade could actually come in. Yeah, there it is. So it's very tucked in. It's going to be hard for Endpoint to actually deal with that ACOG in that position.
Mia's in a good position here. If she holds that shotgun on that corner and anyone tries to push her, it's almost going to be guaranteed over for Midnight and Lua, who are positioned quite well in piano there. Good control by Endpoint, but little do they know that they need to speed this up. And that C4 comes out. It was beautifully timed, but Midnight's just ever so quicker, and Mia now has no C4 to play with and just a shotgun. But Luna downed, I think that was all the way from the hatch, quite possibly. But Mia's going to take out Midnight finally, and it looks like this top floor control might be held by Team Queen for ever so long.
Yeah, they still have 3 people top floor, so nothing to worry about. I actually like the mute jammer placement right there for Mia because we saw Lua trying to scan out the player right there, but because of the actual jammer being active, what's going to be impossible? It's going to be Shiska to pick up the first frag, second frag actually. Now a repeat comes in, that's a shotgun to be effective as well. It's a 2-on-5 situation. And as right now, the pressure from the white stairs comes as well. They are aware of this position. Aztec, however, still allowed to pick up 1 frag. Will get repicked straight away by Mia. And that's a trade to come through. It's all up to Panda now in a 1-on-4 situation. But it won't last. It's going to be Luna to get in that first round for Queen. And that's their tertiary bomb site possibly taken, well, on board right now. And which will leave them at a very comfortable spot for the rest of this half.
That was a beautiful round by Team Queen there. They knew exactly what they wanted to hold. Quite honestly, I mean, if Team Endpoint wanted to counter that, they might have just been able to go on site. Verticality is a tough one to deal with, but of course, if you can get people rappelled up on the windows to stop them challenging those vertical angles, they might have been able to rush on site with so many people off site. So Team Endpoint need to work out how they're going to attack more effectively, because what's happening now is we're seeing a downstairs defense instead of an upstairs. So that verticality is even more important by Team Endpoint if they want to get their way in, or they better hope that their IQ can sneak in and destroy the Kaid so they can make their way into Bakery.
Yeah, those collector claws are definitely going to be something they need to deal with if they want to open up the walls. We'll go for both the freezer and for Bakery, of course. Depending on what is going to be played. Very, I believe this is one of the first setups we saw right here, the castle usage, as soon as Cafe was released. I don't know how to feel about it, because sometimes it works really well, but if you actually know how to counter it, then it's really easily being picked apart, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Castle can be such a handy operator, but I also think it's a crutch operator as well. You know what I mean? Oh, we'll throw a Castle on there and then they'll waste their soft breach, and no team wants to waste their soft breach. But of course, if you knew you've got breaching charges, you've got grenades, you've got, impacts from Zofia, you've got so many things to go
you
about.
Got the sledgehammer. It's
right, you got the
just
sledge.
Smacks it open and you're done.
Yeah.
I don't like it when people put the castle barricades on the outside walls where you cannot even contest it, right? They don't have to commit to opening it because they can do it safely from outside. That is just a wasted piece of utility at that point. Right now, however, the barricades have been placed from the inside, so they definitely need to get some control and need to be safe about their maneuvers and their stabs. As hatches are going to get opened up, it seems like top floor will be the priority here for Endpoint. And slowly they're now trying to take the control, drop it through the hatches, and soon realizing that the entire top floor is cleared out from any Queen player, as they're all in the downstairs area.
A lot of drones coming out from Team Endpoint to make sure that these 2 upper floors are cleared. That's going to give Midnight the A-OK to zoom on in. If she places a Claymore on red, which she's doing now, she'll be ever so safe to be able to start opening vertical control, and she'll probably do that with her other roamer there, Panda. But Panda has a Claymore. She doesn't have breaching charges, so that's going to limit the team's ability to get that vertical angles onto such a big site here. Aztec's Sledgehammer can only do so much, and Midnight, she wants to get this Kaid off there, but in order to be able to impact something like that, you need to have the perfect angle. So I'm not sure she's going to be able to do it, but this C4 could be ever so detrimental.
There he goes. And that's going to be Aztec of the board. I was about to say, there is a C4 on the kite, so if you know a player is right there, you need to be careful. Lua right now will be forced back throughout the smoke canister. Actually takes a hell of a lot of damage right there. There's going to be at least 1 or 2 more canisters left to go to actually secure that kill. It's going to be Luna now to pick up Midnight. Imonti will still have to fall back. He's now literally on 1 HP. As all smoke canisters have been deployed. In the meantime, Kitty on the other side of the map will be taking down Panda. Now we just have the two remaining members of Endpoint right here in the garage trying to finally get some control to, well, at least get a little bit further into the building, but they won't allow it for now. Smoke kind of stuck in this position. Dahl will be getting the knife kill eventually with the SMG as well. Izzy manages to pick up the frag onto Luna. But he's going to be in a 1-4 situation now.
It's almost in one of those positions where if I was Team Endpoint, I might run outside and just talk to the team, have a little bit of a break, discuss our options for the upcoming rounds, because a 1v4 with 17 seconds left is not something that you want to do, but it's very likely Izzy's just baiting time now so her team is able to talk, and a missed headshot there will mean that she doesn't collect any kills, but that round's over for Team Endpoint, and Team Queen looking very confident no matter what site they pick. It'd be interesting to see whether or not they even go train, as that's probably one of the worst sites on Cafe at the moment.
Complete rotation. Just go all 4 right here. It's a thing that we've seen before. When people feel really confident about it, right? But they're going bar cocktail first, so for now, nothing to worry about. It's definitely going to be a hard one for Endpoint to attack, though, considering they already had a hard time trying to get into the bakery. I don't really see them getting into, well, the cocktail lounge then.
Yeah,
at least alive, because dropping the skylight is definitely an option, but...
I think if Lua read into the situation that happened last time in their top floor hold for reading, she could block the white stairs door as Monty and let her teammates focus on the rest. And if she does something like that, which is quite a selfless team move, she's able to essentially block out an entire part of the defensive setup that will be part of Team Queen's setup. So hopefully she does that, because Mia's going to have the shotgun there, and it's going to be all reinforced in bathroom, so she won't be able to push up white. So if she does that, I give a really strong likelihood that Team Endpoint will take this round.
Yeah, Mia is definitely going to be one of those operators that you need to take care of, because otherwise it's going to be a hard time to actually push that wall, because there's a shotgun right next to it. Just a quick peek with the M59, and well, you've seen what range it has. You can just snipe someone on the other side of the piano if you're lucky with it.
Absolutely, but Panda actually is going to have to go underneath if she wants to get rid of that electrical. I mean, this is the kind of impact that Thatcher ban has. That's what we spoke about before. And Midnight entering at the bottom of red. They're pretty confident it's all clear, and the droning from Team Endpoint is some of the best droning alongside teams like NSG, etc. So it's not a surprise that they're aware, and the hot drone will come out for Midnight so they can take this bottom floor control and work their way up. But I think Luna's sort of hiding around, waiting for a pick.
I was about to say, you might want to have someone with your Monty if she is going in alone right there. Right there, Luna right now will deal quite a lot of damage. Actually gets the kill on the Monty as well before being traded by Panda, but that's quite a big loss already. You wanted to use that Monty definitely to block out, for example, as you said, the door towards white right there. That is no longer going to be possible. Feet actually clipping through. Panda tried to get the shot through right there. Unfortunately for her, won't be able to do so. Still be aware of the fact that there is actually a player. It keeps on clipping through, so might actually be able to pick him up. At least we'll know the exact position of the player. But won't be able to do anything with it as of yet, because there's 2 players playing near these stairs. If she peeks one, the other one is instantly going to re-peek her, or maybe even secure the kill before she can. Oh, beautiful headshot right there from Panda. Kitty not being able to refrag it. As I was about to say, they were probably going to refrag each other, but a bit of over-aggression coming in right there from the side of Queen. Being able to instantly punish that. And with that, they now find themselves, I believe, the first time in a, well, man advantage right here. Which hopefully they're going to be able to convert into a round win for them, because they really need this one. They really need to win this third bomb site, because, okay, Cafe is a very defensive site, map, right?
Yeah.
But you want to get in at least 1 or 2 attack rounds. If you want to have a good shot right there, Shadow is going to get tagged up as well. And that continues into the last minute in a 3-4 situation in favor of Endpoint.
Unfortunately for Team Endpoint, a huge area of the map that they need to secure early in the round is not theirs. It's held only by Shishka, so they could overwhelm her and take it very quickly. Looks like Aztec's wanting to do that.
Are they aware?
She's aware. that someone is in there, but I don't know if she is aware that she's behind the bar. And that's what happens when you don't drone. Midnight's now given the call that she's behind bar, and with only 20 seconds left, you don't have many options. They've got to get their way into sight.
Yeah, they got to start pushing, but still worry about the one on the flank right here, because if they don't, that might end up badly. But it's a beautiful double piece coming in. Midnight and Panda both pick up a kill. Izzy now going for the plant. It's only going to be up to Shadow right now with the Echo to try and make it work, but it's Midnight to pick her up right before she could swap to the right yokai drone to try and deny it. And that is going to be round number 1 for Endpoint on the board in round number 3.
I did say it was a great chance that Endpoint could take this round if they'd done it a certain way, but they did it another way happen. It worked just the same. So
multiple ways go to round, right?
Multiple ways.
So,
I mean,
multiple ways.
there's a million options in Siege that you can go by, and they just happen to have Panda popping off. And in fact, huge shout out to Panda there. She was aware that that entire time that Echo drone, or that yokai drone I should say, was giving away her position, and there was 2 cross angles on her. So what she did was she waited for that aggressive peak, and this is what we spoke about before the match started, was that Team Queen is a confident, a mechanically confident team. They will peak because they are sure 9 times out of 10 they will win that gunfight. And she knew this, so she waited, and it's a kind of smart passive aggressive play that even top tier players struggle to learn. So it's good to see that kind of growth and that kind of game sense coming out from these players.
Definitely, because at some point, like, if you know that you're way better, you grow impatient, right? And that is exactly what happened here. If they would have just waited on the white stairs, then nothing would have happened. Queen most likely would have even been able to pick up the round, because that entry right there was quite detrimental for their setup, because, well, it basically gave them a man advantage, and at that point you can just keep on trading, and it's exactly what happened. It was Endpoint to win the gunfight from that point on forward. And right now they will be going into the round number 4, trying to attack what many people call a tertiary bomb site. And let's see if they're successful here as well. The Monty yet again coming out. After round number 1, Lua decided to, well, to go dedicated shield. Living drone, so to say.
I think it's been quite effective for Endpoint, because they've been utilizing the mechanical skill of Panda behind Lua's intel, and if that's going to be the case and it's working effectively, then why not, essentially?
Yeah, but Lua is dying too quickly though on the smoke, on the what's it called, the Monty, or just putting herself in bad situation right here. That's Luna picking up the kill on Panda. Right now they're going to be chasing off that Monty. Smoke canister coming in will force her out even more. Low HP already. We'll let her live for now to fight another day, but she's going to have to wait until backup arrives. As Panda, well, the person who was supposed to get the frags, got taken out straight away by the M59 shotgun. And that is going to be putting the advantage back into Queen's hands again.
Fortunately, when you're going up against a shotgun and a Monty, you always assume someone is right behind the Monty. So that was an easy kill for Luna, unfortunately, and that's going to give them the numbers advantage. It's also the IQ as well, so it's a huge detriment to the team and their ability to use utility. And Luna's going to pop off again. She's going to take out the Monty finally, the one she's been hunting, and that 3v5 is ever so sharp in the side of Endpoint, and a bullet hole, a hit hole, doesn't matter what you do in that area, you're always going to get that kill.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to try and challenge that. You basically have to pre-fire, well, with that accuracy if you want to have that kill as the attacker, of course. So it's going to be a 2-on-5 situation. Looking pretty grim right here, especially when you don't check off that corner. It's going to be Mia to make, well, excellent use out of that with the shotgun. It's now all up to Izzy yet again to try and clutch this 1v5 out. But it's going to be a very hard one to go on. It's Mia with the SMG-11. It's a clean headshot, a flawless round as well from Queen, right after they lost their first. And that brings it to a 3-1. Now, we'll be going back to Bakery most likely. And Endpoint will have to find a way to actually deal with this situation now.
They've gotten one round, which is quite, I mean, against Team Queen, a lot of people say this, you know, they're more equally skilled than I think we're giving them credit for, but Cafe is a defender-sided map, and it is very easy to sit stagnant and hold an angle on this map. So props to Endpoint for getting that one round, especially before when they'd lost their Monty already. So looks like if they want to be able to get this one, they'll need to make sure they get this top floor control properly. They got in last round when they attempted to attack this same site and they did it well, but the execution on the vertical kills and the vertical switch was not appropriate. So hopefully they've changed their way of going about that, and they have the correct flank holds.
Yeah, I was just confused because last time the smoke was basically locked out. They had a multi available to them, so they could basically just lock out any support that they could get if they would be able to take down that smoke. That would have given them a free opening up into freezer, fall back afterwards, so you can strike from another position as well, right? Like the multi was a bit underutilized right there, or sent into aggressive, which allowed the smoke to pick up 1, then 2 frags, and eventually end off that round right there. As we had the termite just waiting for the last 40 seconds behind that staircase. So they're gonna have to find a new way to do so, and the multi's now been swapped out, so we might see that coming in very soon.
I think Lewis decided that it's time for her to frag out, and she's got the buck there for the soft breach, which is perfect. We spoke about the need for soft breaching, and she's got it. And you'll see Izzy on the thermite support main for Endpoint right now, making sure that her team gets in safely. And I think Lua right now will be calling with Panda that they just need to go in. They need to go in together and trust each other's mechanical skills. So looks like what they're doing.
Yeah, relying upon one another is one of the most important traits in a team, of course, because as soon as you start doubting the skill of your fellow teammates, everything starts falling apart. So you gotta know what they can do. You gotta trust in them as well if they say they're gonna be taking care of something, because otherwise you're gonna end up nowhere. And that is exactly what you might be seeing here as they're pushing in together. They're trusting that they will have each other their backs, that they can refrag each other as well. And it's a very important trait to have in a team. Not only, well, sign for more growth to come towards Endpoint if they continue to stick together after this season.
Lua's going to open up above the site in really critical spots as well. I mean, there's a rotate there, and what Team Queen have done is they've decided, you know what, have top floor, have that verticality, have it all, because we've set everything up for an entire retake, and retake strategies are extremely complex, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot stress this enough. If you base your entire defensive strategy off an entire retake, that means that you have to have rotates and the entire site opened up, and you play from outside of the site looking in. And this can be extremely hard if you cannot retake appropriately, or if the attacking team fails to get on site and hold those retake positions, then the defenders have an easy time with that retake. So it will be interesting to see whether or not Endpoint have read into this and go, hey, we can go on site, we can hold these rotates, and we can plant. And Panda's going to start it off with a frag onto Shadow.
That's a very important frag right there. We'll be taking care of the Kite player right now. That will be allowing them to open up the wall, at least when they manage to get Mia and Luna right here, because they are still trying to contest this area. And as long as they do so, it will be very hard for them to open up that wall right there. But it's going to be Luna to be taken out by midnight, meaning only Mia is now left to try and make sure that this wall remains closed. It won't get picked up right there, right? By Lua again. And it's a 4-2 situation heavily in favor of Endpoint right here. There's only 2 members left on the side of Queen. It's going to be Kitty to pick up 1, but will be flanked soon by Lua. The question is, will she know? Yes, she will. Manages to pick up that frag as well. Knows the diffuser in its position. Gets the 3rd one. And that is suddenly all up to Aztec now. They had such a big advantage, but they tossed it all away. It's Queen to pick up round number 5, and they bring it 4-1.
What a shame for Endpoint. They had everything they needed to do a bakery plan and push, and instead they decided to go to the one wall that was completely reinforced and attempt to go in that way. And that adaptation was extremely detrimental. That could have been their 2nd round on the board, but instead...
Should have been their 2nd round on the board.
That should have been. You're absolutely right. That should have been their 2nd round on the board, but unfortunate for them, they're not going to be able to make their way into sight. It was a beautiful setup by Team Queen, but Endpoint had the right idea over it, I think. And I think a retake strategy like that could be extremely dangerous against a team like Endpoint, who are very mechanical and methodical about the way that they go and they get into sight, because you could see, I think their dry runs have taught them that the bottom of white stairs is the area they must go. So for them, they were being mechanical, they were being strategic, and unfortunately for them, that wasn't the play. They needed to have adapted to how Team Queen had set up, and looks like Looks like we will have a rehost because Lua probably rocking the Twitch Elite, unfortunately. Yeah. So
does that mean we're going for rehost, or will they allow it? I don't know. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
We'll come back.
Attackers have located a bomb.
All right.
It looks like, and it's that pesky Twitch Elite uniform. If you guys don't know why that particular skin is banned in almost every league, is because it allows the drone to be pretty much invisible against most of the wooden floors on pretty much every map. So that drone, it tends to come across as, I don't know how to explain it, have like a brown, dark brown, gray color, and you almost can never see it.
No, you gotta explain it like it's the camo, right? If you see someone in camo clothing, you're always like, "Oh, where is he? Well, he's invisible." But that's actually the drone. He's actually invisible because of good camo. So
yes.
yeah, I've actually managed to blend in the Rainbow Six's magic skins as well.
Wow!
Instant rise bar. So I mean, maybe they should get banned now as well.
We could just have default skins for every single matchup, and then no other skins ever. No, but they do, if people are wondering about the rules, they do get a little bit of a warning. Everyone gets one warning if they do run a skin. After that, it's a round one completely to the other team. So ENDPOINT now know that they cannot run any other banned skins for the rest of this match. So hopefully they're checking their skins, they're checking their operators now as they're getting themselves back into the lobby. But I think what we've seen so far is a much closer matchup than the scoreline is giving it credit to have. I think most definitely ENDPOINT have the right idea, but Cafe is such a huge map. And if you want to do a top down or a down up take, you must be extremely quick and fluid with the way that you go about it. And ENDPOINT have been stalling themselves out as they go to get that verticality either under or over. And I think that's been a real detriment to their ability to even get on site, which I don't think they've been able to get on site except for the one upstairs so far.
Yeah, the one round they won, and they almost got onto the site, the last one. They managed to get into freezer, but not much further. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. There was definitely some rounds as well where it wasn't as close, but I think the main issue here is, like, it is such a huge map, as you just said. So what you want to do is get your drones in pre-placed positions, make sure top floor is clear if you're going for the bottom one. Then you drone out the second floor, you know everything is clear, then you can just enter from the second floor, so you don't have to move from the top floor down, because that is taking extra time. So that might be an idea for the future, to just get your drones in pre-placed positions on the top floor, so you don't even have to set foot on the top floor at all if they're not at first or second or third floor. So
absolutely, yeah. And it's that kind of adaptation that I've seen ENDPOINT go through. They were T3H back in the earlier parts of the season. They had roster changes as well. And to see this team grow the way that they've grown is quite amazing. So, you know, to come from, I guess, introducing themselves to the competitive field to now coming in with complete strategies on almost every single map that I've seen them play is a huge step forward. So I think coming to the semis against Team Queen was kind of the biggest achievement you can do as a team for ENDPOINT as well, to come in where they're placed seeded wise. So looks like we will finally get back into the game, however happen. Trying to go back in. I mean, all
right. Round 6, last round for this half before we will see ENDPOINT onto the defense, see what they can do on this, well, very defense side of the map. They already got one round. If they manage to get the second in as well, then they're actually in a very good position to maybe even bring Cafe home. But we're going to wait and see. It's going to be Bar and Cocktail as the last site that Queen will choose in the regular time.
Same operators, same setup. Must be, because when you call a rehost and you've already picked operators, you must pick the same operators. So if you weren't aware, that's exactly why this team will be going everywhere the same with the same operators. And very likely we'll see the exact same setup coming out from Team Queen. Of course, ENDPOINT will make their way onto the roof and try again, but I think this time, I'm hoping this time, Hap, they don't decide to do a bottom-up kind of approach. They'll try and get that piano control that they couldn't get, because Shishka was holding it solo herself, and they had such a good run. They had everything destroyed from below, but they needed that piano control, and because they didn't have it, they pretty much weren't able to
Just the one droning mistake. Just
absolutely.
the one droning mistake lost them that round completely right there. So, yeah, let's see. Of course, they won this one before. but they gotta be careful to not make the same mistakes they've made previously when trying to clear out the top floor, as you just said.
Seconds to go.
So let us see how this will develop. If Queen will be able to take home their 5th round, or if it's going to be Endpoint to take home their
Attackers are
2nd.
moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
In 3 minutes, we will know.
Does look like Team Queen will run pretty much exactly the same setup by looks of it. That's not much alteration to what we saw them run before. However, a little bit of an alteration in the lineup of Endpoint. No Monty this time. Lua's instead going to rock the F2. I think at this point, she's just looking for any gunner that she can have that will get her the kills that she needs. And looks like she's asking Panda if that hole up the top on that window is for a Valkyrie cam outside. But actually, it might have been that someone was standing on the table watching someone rappelling up as a kind of almost spawn peek-like angle. So I don't think there'll be any Valk cams out there for Panda to find, but drones will come out.
It's definitely always a good idea to just bunch open a window just to let the IQ look for a possible Falcon to be tossed out, even if you're not tossing them out. Because it's wasting quite a lot of time. They'll definitely be out there for like 20-30 seconds trying to find if there is a Valkyrie camera on any of these walls. Luna right now in a very good position to go for potential jump out if she knows where the Twitch is going to be located at. There is no camera, so they cannot do it with visual feedback, meaning that they'll have to do it with the calls from her teammates. Possibly as soon as Lua starts shooting into one of those windows, the jump out will be there from Luna to make sure that the F2 will no longer be in the game. And you see her patiently waiting right there. Also waiting for an upside down rappel, possibly on the white stairs window. It's not coming yet though.
Yeah, I think she expects her to come over to that window, but Lua doesn't even really need to challenge that at the moment, so she's going to give that one up. I mean, it's a west to east push, so they just need to get this piano open. Oh my goodness, Luna somehow not taken out by Izzy as she comes strolling down white hallway, and that's going to take out the diffuser. Midnight needs to grab it, rotate it, and that's not going to be any walls opened up as well. You're 100% correct. So if they want to get in and get this plant, they're going to have to run through Cigar Door, and that's the most treacherous way in.
There's definitely some big chokeholds that they will be pushed through. It's going to be a team kill actually from Kitty onto Luna, who just took down Midnight. So Kitty trying to even down the scoreboard a little bit for Endpoint to try and get their 2nd round in. Hashtag right now, checking if that's clear. Yes, it's clear. Lua is going to get the green call to repel in if she wants to. Because at some point, she will definitely have to. Spanner right now in a position where she can go for the plant. Uncontested. Aztec is right there to cover. C4 comes in. Will not hit anything. It's going to be Lua in the meantime. Rappelling in right there. Not checking the corner, but a complete whiff coming down from Shadow. Eventually still picking up the kill. Yes, he will. And it's going to be Kitty to finish it off as well with 2 of her own. Meaning Queen will take round number 6. But that could have just as well gone otherwise as well. If the plant would have just gone down straight after the C4 blew up. They wasted too much time right there. Tried to go too aggressive as well on Endpoint's side. Allowing Queen to, get themselves together again. After a little shake that they knew that people were inside.
My goodness, that plant was in a perfect position. They had the rotates covered. Instead of planting in default, they planted a little bit deeper to cover the planter. But unfortunately for Panda, she thought that C4 was dead on her, and it just wasn't. She would have been safe to continue planting. And Lua was also in a great position, but I don't know what happened there, whether or not the sound was off for her or whether there was a lot of comms going on in her ears, but she didn't hear the person directly next to her, and that might have been able to change the game. So looks like another defensive round, but we will switch halves now and see whether or not defense is as loving to Endpoint as it was to Team Queen.
Yeah, Queen definitely did what they needed to do right there. Managed to pick up 5 rounds, not the 6 that you might, you hope for, which basically is a flying start at that point. But it's definitely going to be enough to clean this up and get Cafe into their pockets. And with that, the first map as well for these playoffs, the semi-finals, which basically means there will be 1 leg into the finals already. And of course, they come into this league as the pure favorites, so they have something to show. There's no shame whatsoever in Endpoint if they lose this match eventually. They're the underdogs, so all they can do right here is just surprise themselves.
I love this setup by Endpoint here. I think it is great. What they've decided to do is open up feet holes where the default plant would go down so that if they need to peek it from White Door, they can do so in a prone position. And that's a beautiful setup there. And we thank you so much to our beautiful observer for highlighting that one for me. And they put a shield there to give it even extra safety there. So they're putting a lot of utility and banking a lot on the fact that they need to be able to contest the plant because they know a team like Team Queen is going to want to get in, take piano, and get that plant down. So it's a great adaptation there. I love that.
Yeah, good setup coming through. Let's hope it also work out like they planned it, but so we can get a little bit of a comeback going on for the side of Endpoint. Because that's what we all want to see. We don't want to see the run-overs. We want to see those close matches where teams have to bring literally everything they got to make sure they proceed to the next round. And, well, Queen so far not always being challenged. So let's hope that that starts right now. Good jammer position, actually. Not sure if they actually droned out the one in Pixel right there.
Oh, that's a beautiful run. Oh my goodness. She timed that extremely well with the flash, and Luna misses out on an entire kill here. Aztec doesn't have the weapon here that she should have to be able to challenge this angle. Going against an R4C is not what you want to be doing on this angle, so unless she gets lucky timing, she might get taken out by Luna and Mia. And her teammate Toxic all there. Kitty probably going to be the one that holds that whilst they get that wall open.
The MX4 Stormer is definitely a good weapon, though. It has a high fire rate, so you definitely are competitive against the R4C if you manage to open fire first. That's the whole thing. Whoever starts shooting first will probably win that one. You can expect that Luna is definitely, well, camping on that trigger action. Bullet hole right there, not getting spotted. Damages are coming through, though. Lua almost getting down through that C4. Now tossed through, will not hit, as it didn't completely go through as well. Kitty's still aware of someone being in that position right there, but unaware of where to peek. And they're kind of boxed in right now because there's one on the left, there's one on the right. They managed to take out the one on White there, and they managed to get the one on Freeze on the actual bathroom as well. And suddenly Queen are in a very good position after they kind of get themselves stuck between a rock and a hard place right here. They managed to pick up round number 7 as Luna picks up Panda, who manages to get a kill with a C4, but when rotating back up, wasn't able to find the last 4.
That was a little bit of a drop shot there. I want to call that Ashley. I don't know. Yeah, a live stream here, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen our first playoff drop shot from the beautiful Luna, of course, and I don't expect it from anyone else. And sehr good for her. So I didn't. You know what happened? They removed that mechanic. However many months ago that mechanic was removed, and now it's starting to make its way back. So good to see that.
When I'm playing, I sometimes, you know, I'm crouching and I'm like, they will never expect it when I go prone. I go prone, and at that moment he peeks me. That's the moment you scope out. I'm like, come on. It's so annoying that it actually unscopes you. I didn't use the drop shot mechanic, but I want to just drop to hold an angle sometimes, and then
the timing's always off, but it wasn't there for Luna, so she took well advantage of that. But it does look like they have decided to change some of the operators around. I believe it was Panda who was on the Mozzie on the round previous, and now it's all being changed up. Lua will have the shotgun there to be able to contest bathroom should she need, but it's not the same setup that we've seen before. So
no alibi.
Like they're going to, it looks like they're going to be adapting as best they can to what just hit them, unfortunately. And I think for Team Queen, that adaptation to go, oh, we can't really thermite open this wall, so what we're going to do is we're just going to sledge open the hole they've already made, and we'll just enter that way. And I don't think it was the right call, but their mechanical skill was what allowed them to make that entry. So I think Endpoint had the right idea, but this time they're reinforcing over it, so it'll be interesting to see what adaptation they're going to make.
Yeah, what will they think? What will go on in their minds to try and counter this setup in particular? I do see there's 3 C4s, or at least 3 potential C4s on the side of Endpoint. They do have a pulse, so we might see a little bit of a C4 strategy coming in as Panda and the Mozzie are located downstairs. So there could be 2 confirmed kills if they manage to guide each other correctly. Right, there's going to be Mia to instantly open up on the piano wall, though. If they take care of the Mew Jammer first. I'm not sure if that has happened before. Doesn't sound like it because I didn't hear the ring going on. There we
This
go.
is beautiful. Team Queen are not sending anyone downstairs to challenge these C4s. Panda has all the information she needs. They've even got an IQ
How they
on
know
the
though?
side of Team Queen, and surely she spotted out the pulse, and there we go. That drone is beautiful, so they're going to challenge. The pings will come out, and she's all alone because unfortunately Aztec was downstairs, but she might be able to take the better of them.
Well, C4 taking out a lot of the tracks right there, but it's not what you want to use your C4, right? You want to get that kill confirmed if you're going to go for it. And then now manages to take out one drone, but the hatch right there has been opened up. It's going to be Luna to pick up that kill, and I just wonder now, where is the refrag coming in from the player right here in this bathroom area? Oh no, Luna doesn't check it. It's Lua to pick up that kill. I was going to say, Lua, you should have just instantly gone for the refrag there, but, you know, this does the job quite well. There's Kitty right now. Will be holding that off, trying to toss in a grenade. Will not completely land correctly. However, the wall into the freezer is going to get opened up. And that is going to be giving them some perspective to work with. But still, Aztec could be coming on the roam right here, and that could be quite detrimental. But all those tracks will prevent her from moving up silently. And she will have to find another way up to go back and support her team.
So many pre-placed drones here from Team Queen. They see everything. That's a down from Lua, surely. Yes, onto the IQ. Kitty.
Mia.
Oh, goodness, a shot as the C4 was coming out. She knows she's all good to plant. They're going to pick up their teammate. Aztec's going to attempt to rotate back, but Shishka's holding that rotate, and she's going to take her out. Now it's a 2v4, 2v3, and a 1v3. And it's, I think, unfortunately for Midnight, unless she pulls out the clutch of her life, it's one. She only needs 2 more, Hap, and she can bring this back for her team.
Oh, 3 seems impossible. 2 is doable, certainly. And Midnight manages to pick up yet another one. And the last one is quite low on HP. It's Shadow that has to, well, stand tall. Keep this clutch in. Make sure it doesn't happen. Make sure Midnight doesn't get this frag. And if she is moving in, it won't happen. It's going to be Queen to eventually pick it up. It was Midnight to almost bring it back right there and maybe go for the defuse afterwards and keep them into the matchup. But it is going to be Shadow that denies it. It's going to be Queen to take map number 1 with 7-1 on the scoreline streak. And that is quite a commanding lead.
Absolutely. That round differential we're talking about. I mean, that's why they reign so supreme. They're so dominating. They did get to start on defense, so that was a leg up for them, I do think. But I don't think that, unfortunately, Endpoint had the answers that they needed early enough on their defensive and attacking half to be able to take any more rounds. I do want to say it was closer on a lot more of the rounds than we're seeing in that scoreline, like we said before. So it was a great matchup, but unfortunately, Team Queen had an answer for everything.
Yeah, it was definitely close. Some of these rounds, like the 7-1 doesn't do justice about the performance right here of Endpoint. It could have definitely been a 7-3, 7-4 at some points as well, if they just managed to get the rounds in that were that close, including the clutch that we almost saw happen right there for Midnight. So unfortunately for Endpoint, they went out with a pretty big differential right here. But, Queen, they were expected to win it, and they were expected to win it quite comfortably as well, considering their round differential of 63-13. This kind of, follows the same trend. 1-6. This was 1-7. So
absolutely. And look, I think coming into Villa, this will be the pick of Endpoint. So I do assume that they've got a lot set up for this map. And the fact that Team Queen didn't really clear below unless they found someone below. And then they sent people who were doing other things down there to do it, which wasted a lot of round time. I don't think Villa's the kind of map where you can't do that. They must go below and get rid of these C4s that are going to be everywhere on Endpoint. So I do hope to see that. But of course, Queen will start defense on Villa. So this might be another one of those reigning supreme.
Yeah, I was kind of confused though. Like this was the map pick of Queen, so I don't know. Like the previous one, why didn't Endpoint go for defense?
Do you think it was interesting that what we saw, even though Queen took it 5-1 when they were on defense, which isn't totally out of the realm of expectation since it's a defensive sided map, but it could have been about 4-2 there. Endpoint didn't look terrible. They looked good. Do you think it was interesting when they switch over and Endpoint's now on defense that they just let it go? Did you expect it to end up a 7-1 match? I think it would have been a bit closer than that, at least the way the Endpoint was playing.
I think when you're feeling out a team and you're on defense, and I notice it with my team or all the teams I've ever been with actually, is that you sort of feel out the team. Are they pushing fast? Are they pushing hard? Do they go below? Do they use this utility this way? And the first round or two on your defense, you've got a leg up because it's defensive sided, but you're also not 100% sure how they're going to push it. So I think when Endpoint were feeling it, they had their setup correct, but they didn't play that setup correctly. And that went downhill for them. They tried to change things, and I think they should have stuck to what they had and played it better, adapted on what they had and just played it better. So I think that's probably where it went downhill for them. I didn't expect that at all.
Definitely. Well, we will have the second match coming up shortly. We're just going to flip to a quick break. We'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to get into it here. Map number 2 of the semifinals here. It is Team Queen, Team Endpoint. Team Queen taking the first map on Cafe, taking that one 7-1. So they're up 1-0 in this best of 3. We've got Jess and we've got Hap here. Hey, guys. It's been just too long since I've seen you guys. So let's get back into the match here. This now is Endpoint's choice of map. They're going to Villa. Now, we talked about it just before the match, Jess, about going to a map where hopefully they've seen Team Queen play. But Endpoint actually opted to choose a map where they haven't seen Team Queen play, but they have won two games there themselves this season. So maybe instead of opting to go against something you've seen, opting for something you know and you know works for yourselves. Is that maybe the intention going into this one?
Yeah, I mean, any analyst or coach knows that the first thing you've got to decide is whether or not you want to completely counter strat a team or if you want to go to their worst map statistically. And I think they've pulled out the statistics with their analyst and gone, this is our best map. This is possibly either their most banned or their most unfavored map. And that's what they've done here. So I'm excited to see Villa. I think it could be extremely dangerous because you've got players like Luna and a couple others like Shadow, etc., who are very comfortable moving around the map confidently. And if you let them go and you don't have flank holds on a very big map like Villa, they can creep up on you really fast. So I hope for Team Endpoint's sake that the strats that they have ready for this are ready to go because they will be starting attack and it can be extremely difficult to get into the side on Villa.
Yeah, if you want to further on that, Hap, I mean, we're taking a team here. Although you may be comfortable on Villa as Endpoint, this is one of the most technical maps in the pool. Do you still find it interesting that they chose it with knowing that?
I'm more confused why they didn't choose Clubhouse, which was considered the weakest map of Queen, right? Considering they lost 4 rounds against Sphinx right there. So it was a bit iffy. So that definitely showed there was issues on that map, which if you analyze that, you could go further upon and maybe try and exploit those. So there has to be something else here. Maybe they just feel most comfortable on Villa. Like, this is our best map, or we have been practicing this the most, like during the last week and the playoffs right here. So I don't know what the reasoning behind it is, but I'm pretty sure that they have a reasoning for it. So we just got to trust them based on that.
I mean, maybe we can hope we'll look at something like, even though they've won 2 matches, maybe they have some strats that they've never even pulled out that no one's seen. And hopefully they're looking to catch Team Queen off guard there.
Yeah.
So we're just going to have a quick look at the brackets here. So, of course, Team Queen, Endpoint right now, they will move on, the winner of this match, to the grand final tomorrow, and they'll be taking on the winner of the match coming up after these maps here. That'll be Spies versus North Sea Gaming. The winner of that will take on either Team Queen or Team Endpoint tomorrow, and then the losers of each match will take on for the third place match tomorrow as well. So we've still got a ton of action left to go, a lot left to see. I mean, even that third place match is going to be a very interesting one because you're still going to have one hell of a good game, I think, either way. Whether it's Endpoint going up against Spies, Team Queen going up against North Sea, who knows what the matchups are going to be. We have yet to see, but it will be interesting nonetheless. I think we are getting close to the match. Oh, not quite yet here.
Ooh.
Is there... So, Endpoint starting off on attack with this Villa map here. That's correct, right? Yeah.
Yes.
They're going up here. Are they going to need a lot of momentum coming into this, or do you think they should be slow and methodical, Hap?
Difficult question. I still say, right, you fight aggression with more aggression, like often, not always the case. So maybe just try and be very explosive on the weak points. Just try and read based on your droning in the prep phase. Okay, this seems to be the weakest part of their setup, and then just go full on explosive there. Just use your utility. Make sure you can breach through. Get on the side. Get that plan down. Make Queen come to you at that point. What we've also seen before, there's a heavy roam setup, and they don't seem to read that properly. They should be reading, okay, there's 3 people offside. So if we go full force on site with 5 versus 2, there should be no situation in Siege where we would lose that. So
Mm.
they should have, they need to try and read out the situation right there and just use their explosive power on that.
Now, versus last map as well, the use of droning was a bit of an issue for Endpoint there, especially on a map like Villa, as you're just saying, Hap. The drones, a drone, I'm going to pull out an Intero line here, but the drone economy is very important on a map like Villa. And if they don't utilize it, do you think that would be the end of them, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. They've got great drones on both teams. I'm super excited to see how they use it on a map like Villa. They could be anywhere on the map and they could be holding every flank from any known position. So I'm really excited to see how they utilize that in this map because no one's been destroying it. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, and it looks like we are ready for the match here. I'll let you guys get into it and I'll see you guys shortly.
Well then, here we go once again. Queen versus Endpoint. As the ban phase, of course, is going to be our favorite part. See some mind games coming through right here. How well have they studied one another?
I think if you're Team Queen, you ban Thatcher. I mean, you're on defense. You ban Thatcher, you can
There you go.
done. You can literally sit behind any wall and feel rather safe. I mean, okay, Panda on the side of Endpoint has been a great IQ, so the ability to go underneath and get those is high. But I mean, then you got to challenge underneath, you got to challenge vertically, etc. And it takes so much time. Unfortunately, Endpoint haven't been very time efficient. But this is a very big count of ban, and that's going to go straight onto Shishka's pocket. Unfortunately, Gridlock main for Team Queen will get locked out, and she'll be forced to play Nomad. But I've seen Shishka play both flank denial operators, and I don't think that's going to worry her one bit.
No, that definitely won't be an issue. As the Kaid is now going to get banned. Logical choice, considering the Thatcher ban. You don't want to have to deal with those electro claws, at least on hatches, for example, when they do decide to go to the bottom floor, because I think Queen is definitely playing on taking on the bottom floor, and we're going to see the echo being removed as well. And that means Mirror is going to be open.
Oh, no, Hap. Oh, no. No.
I like Mirror on Villa.
Oh, I'm sure Team Queen loves Mirror on Villa as well.
It's definitely a very usable operator.
Oh,
to say lightly.
no. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And it does look like Shishka is going to be the one to rock that vector. And it's an absolute, her utility. Shishka, no. Shishka,
what
no.
Are you doing?
Reverse that decision. No. Wow.
Nope. Okay.
It seems like these teams are so formidably stuck in their strategic ways. When you dry run it, I mean, they don't want to change their setup.
Isn't the entirety of Europe stuck in not playing Mirror, whether it's open or not?
Right, of course. And we've seen that before. But look at the site, Hap. Look at what site we're on.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, it's not the first time Queen took a site that we don't consider to be the first site you go to. Like, normally you would consider Trophy or Aviator, whichever you feel more set. I think, personally, Games or Aviator with the Mirror available to you would be the one to go for. But let's see.
I think Team Queen are just confident. They know what they want to do. And look, this Metro Cam looking all the way down red hallway. That's just beautiful. And in fact, they're even going to open up Piano Wall. You cannot go anywhere in almost all of the eastern sided map without being spotted by this Maestro Cam. That's a brilliant setup. This kind of strategy has been well thought out. And I am scared for Endpoint seeing the confidence of this pick. Not only is they picked downstairs first, but they've also set up in such a peculiar way I've not seen before. So I think Team Queen are far more prepared on this map than Endpoint we're realizing.
And they definitely look prepared indeed. And that might be the reason why they actually decided to not go for the Mirror, because they know their setup works. And it's dangerous to change it if you haven't actually actively scrimmed with it, because to be honest, what is the opportunity that a Mirror will actually slip through the ban phase? Because 90% of the time it's going to get banned is Luna right now to try and get the first frag. We'll get down and instantly taken down, but we do see a refrag from Shishka coming in onto Midnight though. And that will keep us into a 4-4 situation. Numbers are all still tied up in this first round. Nothing lost, nothing gained, except for the 2 grenades on Endpoint.
Does look like Panda will come zooming in. She works wonders with that commando, and in fact, it's not probably one of the best weapons to engage with as a roam clearer either. So beautiful job from her. And a numbers game here for Endpoint means that maybe they are more prepared for this than we were expecting. But this off-site pick, I think, has been something that's given Endpoint a little bit more of an advantage. I do hope for Panda's sake she does have the breaching charges, because there is so much verticality to get on this site. And Aztec, she's going to miss this kill. But Mia, skittling away snake-like underneath, she might get away with just a slither of help.
Definitely looks like she will live to fight another day, but has to be careful because Panda slowly sneaking down on the back of the stairs. Seems to be aware of it, as she is watching that area right there. Izzy, right now, not actually certain. We'll be getting the call to rotate down from the Astro stairs, as that will be the safer option to go for. Mia should be aware of this soon. At least Kitty should be hearing this and calling this out to her fellow teammate. We have one on south. The rest is all on the northern side. Spots are coming in. Kitty's going to be aware. Going prone right here. Tries to go for the pre-fire. Will not be able to pick up a kill. Will instead relocate. Try to get one. It's going to be Aztec to pick up one onto Mia right there. And that's a 2-on-3 situation now, as we do see Kitty picking up one kill. Wants to go even more aggressive. Just does a lot of damage right there onto Izzy. And manages to stabilize the situation right here. Aztec now trying to move in. Will be picking up the frag. It's Aztec to get that one. It's now all up to Kitty in a 1-on-1 situation. Manages to get the kill with the bailiff. Kitty right there. Aztec, didn't see the Kitty moving out on the left side of her eyes. And that means there is no time. There's 1 second to get this kill. And she will get it. It's Endpoint to get the first round. And Kitty wasn't tucked in well enough for Aztec to lose this out.
It literally came down to the fact that, and I don't know what FOV Aztec is playing on. So what we see, ladies and gentlemen, on the screen is a pre-selected FOV and 90 FOV of our spectator. So she very may have well not seen her on her particular screen. So I'm going to give her that. But they just so happened to be a drone placed right across from Bicycle, which spotted Kitty just as she went outside. And that is the only reason Aztec knew that she was there and could pre-fire that spot with only 2 seconds left on the clock. So that's a beautiful round. Unfortunately for Endpoint, I think they rotated with the idea of going around the Maestro cam and thermiting the wall and planting there, which was a smart play because they had Dokkaebi to hack the cam so they could alter it whenever they wanted. But Endpoint seems to make these rotate decisions with no time left. And that kind of exciting, explosive end of play is exactly what I'm looking for. And not that I want Endpoint to go through those crazy plays every round, but it was a beautiful one nonetheless.
That's not enough. That's not good for the hearts if they keep on going through these kind of plays. I think we'll see a player drop at that point if that keeps on happening for 14 rounds straight. Oh well.
Oof, okay, another
Next
round.
side. Yeah,
let's go.
Still downstairs. We're
Wow.
going to kitchen now. Kitchen dining.
Look at those castles and mutes. I like that. I think that's great because if you have a mute jammer placed on the castle, you've only got now 2 options rather than 3. And I think a lot of people might look at me and go, yeah, but who cares? Well, that's huge because a lot of teams bring breaching charges for the sole purpose of getting rid of them. And there's no sledge on the attacking lineup. So you've either got grenades or you've got to hit the barricade or you've got, you can't breach charge them. So you've got to Zofia them and there's no Sophia. So to get rid of these castles with the lineup that we're seeing on Endpoint is very difficult.
Yeah, smacking it 13 times takes a long while as well. Or 12, I must say. So they're going to be trying to have to work around them or use those grenades, of course, to take care of them. And that's a bit expensive because you want to use those grenades to get your kills confirmed or basically make sure you get one player out of a very tough to take situation. That won't be happening now, at least not yet. Luna, meantime, moving into the bathroom right here as Shishka is calling out the position of 2 players. You could actually 4 now. Allowing Luna to get a good read of the situation right there. Will also get the opening frag onto Aztec. Even goes more aggressive. Manages to pick up the double kill onto Panda. Right now, tries to find the turret, but was too aggressive there. It's easy to pick that one up. But it's already a 2-on-4 situation right here in favor of Queen. And as well as it went for Endpoint last round, as good as it's going right now for the likes of Queen, who are trying to continue their streak that they set up on the previous matchup, which was a 7-1 win on Cafe, where they also managed to start on the defense because Endpoint felt more comfortable on the attack, most likely, because they had the side choice.
Midnight will use her grenades, but I don't think it'll be to the point that she wants it to be. Nope. You know what happened? I'm never going to talk about Midnight's grenades ever again. In
That's all
fact,
we call
she
a
is the
Kobe.
Kobe. She is the Kobe master. She'll come zooming in after taking a beautiful kill all the way prone from the window with that grenade, and now she's got statue control. She could start opening up some verticality. Kitty was upstairs in the castle, and she actually still is over in Trophy, and that's going to be a beautiful down from her. She knows she's down, effectively got top floor control, and this 2v2 with 40 seconds left is very doable, but they need to open verticality and waste 15 seconds on that first.
I don't think they're going to go for the verticality. They're going to go for the horizontal play. Grenade gets tossed in. Camera gets taken down. As they don't have the time simply to try and get some frags from above and actually get the right positionings. I think that's what's going through their minds right now. They need to go for the horizontal play. That's what they're going to try and do right now. Midnight right here holding an angle. On the other side, we have Lua trying to peek, but the player already moved. And it's going to be Shadow to just turn around, get the kill with the shotgun. Midnight now going from the same position, but they know what the diffuser is. And as she is moving in, he will be taken out as well. And that's the UMP from Shiska to take down the last player, Midnight. And that is going to be round number 2 right now on the board for Queen. So it's 1-1 in score. As Endpoint looked so strong in the first round, they didn't manage to do it right here on Dining Kitchen.
That was a very close one for Team Queen. It's almost like they're trying to get rid of their worst cards to start off with in the most horrific fashion for them, because it's been not the best showing by them on those sites. They are the off sites, the sites you just don't want to go to. And of course, off the board now, at least, they could go back to Lounge, but they're going to pick Aviator. And they're not going to do any kind of adaptation on their defensive strategy, even if Mirror is open. Because as you said, Europe does not like the Mirror, almost exclusively scrims without a Mirror most of these times. And most games go on.
It's wasted utility, no, not wasted utility, wasted resources to scrim with Mirror in Europe because it's getting banned anyway, right? So why would you waste your time just in this small percentage of games or rounds that you're actually going to get to play a Mirror?
I agree.
And they all feel comfortable to play without her as well right now. So, I mean, you know, it's still a defense-sided game with or without Mirror. So you don't necessarily need her. As an ex-Mirror main, I feel sad about this fact, though, because, you know, I like to bring the Mirror on every single side I could. But it's not happening anymore, and that's unfortunate.
Interesting reinforcements. I'm unsure.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb.
Strange.
I'm unsure what that reinforcement or lack thereof is for. Are they trying to bait that they still have the Mirror and that it will be placed up late? Or is this angle going to be opened up all the way from games and they can peek the window? Or is it for an impact trick to shoot?
Oh no, they got a shield right there, so they can look through the shield, which is of course now the mini Mirror. And they can actually stand up to just shoot through the wall right there. Oh, beautiful kill right now, Luna. Unfortunate, Panda.
Good night, Panda. And that's such a shame because that's the frag. Can the refrag come out? It won't. Luna's just going to skittle away. And God, she's such an aggressive player, but she's accurate and it works.
Definitely. And also with that, taking down Panda, who is one of the most impactful players, at least on Cafe, for the likes of Endpoint. But just to come back to that setup, I think that they're going to be... Okay, I was about to say, did that go through and actually will launch her? But no, that's not going to be the case. I was going to be thinking like the... What's it called? The shields are now known as mini mirror windows, right? So opening up the angle longer...
Knockoff mirror windows.
Oh, knockoff mirror windows, indeed. It's going to be Luna to pick up the double. And we're not picking up...
Oh no! Oh, it's all happening faster than we can pick up on it. 1:35 left on the clock, and Izzy's all on her own, attempting to make sure that she can get something done. And look at Mia. She's like, I want to run out. I want to check exactly where this player is. And surely they know Luna's call that she's out on the balcony.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely. It's going to be Izzy right now to try and contest first up to the Maestro, but it's going to be Luna right there to get the frag from the top of the stairs. And I just want to point out, Queen, you're a very rude team because you don't even let me finish talking. Come on, you're just making frags every single second.
Yeah, look, it was almost
almost
an ace there from Luna, I believe. The only other kill going to the alibi downstairs on Midnight, who was attempting to get that vertical control from underneath. So I do feel like Team Queen are very confident on the major sites of this particular map. I mean, we'll see them go over to Trophy now, and if they're just as confident as they were on Aviator, as most people tend to be, this could spell disaster for and on their half of attack.
Definitely so. And Point needs to get at least 1 or 2 more rounds in if they want to feel comfortable going up to the defensive side. We'll see how it work out.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
As we will now see trophy stat tree. Still no mirror on the board. Now, of all sites, I think this is probably the least one to use the mirror window.
Yeah, there's not a lot of spots you can put it. I mean, you can put it, and I've seen castle strats where you can put it over closer to I wanted to call it Aviator for some reason. No, Astronomy for those who want the full name. And you can put it over there to do a full Astro hold with the castle on the side. But to put so much utility towards Astro is already enough. And they've got castles on both the window and the bathroom already. Because simply for the fact, ladies and gentlemen, is that what they're doing, and you can see Mia over there reinforcing into Aviator, is because they want to do an entire top floor hold. And to spread a defensive lineup so thin, it means you need to be able to know if people are pushing onto side, and a castle does that. It allows you to give time for your roamers to rotate back in time to stop. So that's why these castles are being utilized in this way.
The one on the window though will be easily taken care of by Lua as soon as they read that the castle has been placed on set position. Benna right now waiting for the drones to go ahead, clear the way, allowing her to move through, try and get some pressure done. Actually, if she was on the scanner, she would have known the position of the Legion because Jinka was actually active on that phone right there. The kill. Not happening. Something underutilized a lot, like the electronics scanner, they should just hear, can actually pick up on the phones as well. So it's very worth it to test it early in on the round, so you can spot out people who are actually checking cams for the rest of the teammates. Maybe get an early pick like that.
I'm a little bit confused, Hap, because Thatcher is banned. And we see Shishka playing up near for the impact trick. Why? Why bother if they're going to have to go below anyway and shoot them? You could just challenge the people vertically and put bandits or sub mutes or anything on that wall.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even need to impact trick it. In fact, it could be a secondary wall denial. And see this, now Midnight's opening this up. You could really challenge it from above if you wanted to and have wall denial.
Well.
So these teams are fiercely committed to their strategies, and it's very likely that they've gone up against just impact tricking every wall, no matter what.
Mia right here coming in on the hot flank. And she is slowly moving through bicycle right here. And that's one spot, but actually that's unlucky timing. Panda just looked around, manages to pick up that clean, the clean kill right there completely. Not even a single point of damage. Grenade comes in right now. Termite charge gets breached. And right now that is just a simple impact trick to cancel that one off. And there we go. Not sure why they didn't even sledge it in first. Like if you sledge the wall, you can place it in the soft wall, which would make it impossible to be impact tricked right there. So a little bit of a mistake right there coming through from Endpoint, but unfortunately nothing they can do about it now. It's going to be Luna to pick up Midnight. Free Fire is coming through right here from Lua as a C4 kill coming through as well. Queen are turning it around even though they lost Mia early on.
Oh my goodness, I thought that was all over, but Aztec, she looks over. Kitty's going to trade it straight onto Lua. This 2v3 is seeming almost impossible. You're right. Team Queen didn't reinforce back to front. Aztec's looking the wrong way. She's got 2 angles to contend with.
5 seconds left.
And now that goo mine will give away her position. She decides to pull it out because she's low health. And Izzy's in. But it won't matter because they're all out of time. And There was a double mistake there in that round. Team Queen reinforced the wrong way around. Ladies and gentlemen, impact tricking is an extremely complex wall breach denial tactic in Siege. And if you reinforce the walls from inside the site out, a team can breach it and your impact tricking over the top of the wall will not be effective because all they need to do is buck or sledge the wall and they can plant the exothermic deep into the reinforcement where the impact cannot hit. So what a team needs to do and what you'll see teams do is reinforce the other way around because you cannot get that deep soft breach into that wall area for that
And it's
exothermic.
also harder to throw over grenades, like actual grenades from the
Exactly.
other side. So it's basically a win-win if you do it like that as a defensive
Attackers
side.
need
But
to locate and defuse bombs.
a mistake coming down from both the teams here. I don't even think, like, a lot of teams and people are actually unaware of the fact that if you just sledge the wall first, that the termite charge is safe from being impact tricked. I don't even think a lot of people know. Like, often what I do is just start shooting the wall as well if you don't have a sledge or something, so you can even place it in there.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many people that are just unaware of that whole mechanic right there, that really needs to be looked in at by some of these analysts right here. Just get that in the system.
And you can see it again. Look at this. They've reinforced the
Yeah.
wrong way around. So that impact trick will be even harder for the team if Endpoint were to read into that soft breach potential on that wall. And they've used a mute. So, hey, they've read into the fact, hey, guys, they don't have a Thatcher. Please. We're all
We
good.
banned it. Oh wait.
We banned it. Come on, guys. And they're doing a top floor hold. So if someone wants to go above and destroy it, they've got to go all the way in and get that statue control. So you're going to have to get rid of almost 3 full Queen players to do that. So I think for them, and the pulses
That's the
spotted
pulse,
out.
yeah. Fortunately, though, no one will be able to take care of that player because there's no top floor control as of yet. As you said before, there's 3 players of Queen right there. You have to clean out first if you want to be able to deal with that stuff. Castle barricades in position, making sure that the wall that just have been opened up by the Buck will not be able to be used as Endpoint might want to. As they just don't have the line of sight to look into trophy. That's that getting tagged down from below. I'll be aware of that fact right now. It's going to be the Jaeger right there actually playing in Astro. Could have been picked up if Aztec just committed to the actual push right there. It's going to be the main wall to be opened up. That's 1 exothermic charge gone. It's an important wall opened up, and it's going to be Luna right now with the entry onto Lua. Luna right now going even more aggressive right here into the bathroom. Not sure if there was a Mozzie drone. No, that was not a Mozzie drone, but the lights were blue, so they are aware of the fact that Luna is playing this position. Was no wallbang coming up right after she got spotted.
Midnight will take out Kitty, however, so that is the control they need to pinch Luna in bathroom. Oh, goodness me, but it doesn't matter. The timing is off. The refrag will happen, and they will be able to pick up Midnight because Mia's going to rotate all the way back down to site now they've lost 2 of their roamers. And
Pools, please go and bait this. Please use this as bait. Just stand by under it, right? You wait for that C4, you just blow them both up as soon as they go for the revive, but the C4 will be used to try and take down Aztec. That won't happen. And that means that Midnight is now officially going to be able to be picked up. Probably they were not aware of the fact that the Buck was downed. And because of that, they will now have a 1-man advantage. Not with much HP, but it's still a gun. And you only need 1 bullet to kill in this game, so everything is still possible. Right there, the last exothermic charge used on the actual castle barricade to open things up. It's an interesting way to go with a Shadow right now with the shotgun playing this close. There's no way that they're actually going to be coming through right there. Actually, they will. It's Panda with the sneaky snake maneuver to come in right there. Mia, however, will be getting a refrag onto Midnight. Right now, Lizzie tries to plant while being covered off by Panda, but you have to step up a bit further. Right now, the teammate gets killed. The Shiska with a double. And right there, by trying to plant a little bit too early, it's only turned around again. There's 5 seconds left. Aztec in a 1-on-2. Needs to kill 2 within 2 seconds, but that won't happen. It's Shiska to pick up the 3-piece. After, well, we saw the termite trying to plant, but not knowing that you have to step off like a complete meter from the bomb before you can pick it up again.
yeah, that's such an unfortunate mechanic of this game is that you must be in far enough to the side to even be able to press your hotkey to get that player down. And she learnt that the hard way. I still don't think given the timer is 7 seconds, that she would have been able to get the plant down anyway, but it's an unfortunate turn of events. And Shishka and Luna leading the pack in kills for their team, and Panda, an excellent addition to the Endpoint lineup. When she did join their lineup, she has been absolutely amazing on her role of IQ, both frag and utility destroying. So I think getting 1 round on the attack so far, not out of the norm as we spoke about on these defensive sided maps. In fact, both of the maps that they picked were defensive sided maps out of all statistically. So it does look like Team Queen are getting the full advantage of that defensive sidedness.
Definitely so. One more round and Queen is well, recreating the exact scoreline that we have seen on Cafe as well. And then they will be tossing over Endpoint, who are, well, not having the best of times, so to say. Small mistakes coming through every single round right here, which build up to eventually losing the round, even though when you have a man advantage, it's definitely not something that you want to keep on going with. Now we actually have time to discuss this. So what I thought they would do is use that shield to actually look through the little holes they make into the wall. And then use it like you would in a mirror window, you know? Stand up or strafe to the side, get the kill. And with that, you can deny that door pretty safely, because no one is going to be pre-firing you for, like, the entire round right there.
Yeah, look, I definitely think the purpose is to be able to see all the way out onto balcony, but I'd also be interested to see if someone plays behind B-bomb, because with those lines of sight opened up, you can also shoot any kind of X-Kairos or exothermics that are on the other wall into the game. So it's almost like a dual opportunity kind of line of sight, and it's a very dangerous one too.
It is indeed a very dangerous one. Luna right now, right here, saw, well, heard Midnight running past. He is right now into the library, or gallery, we should say. It wasn't actually contested while trying to get there. Luna is afraid to actually go to that position. She was a little bit more wide. Actually would have been able to pick up that frag quite safely. And instead it's going to be Midnight now to open up tons of angles, allowing her and her team to try and play that vertical game. But it's going to be Luna right now to pick up the first frag onto Panda, the top fragger, the most effective player on the team to be gone. It's the second one onto Midnight. There's Mia on the other side to take down Lua as well. And suddenly it's a 2-on-5 situation that they will have to fight back from. Endpoint, not in the best of positions right here. It's Queen that's stepping up the gas pedal right here, especially Luna. She takes down Panda before she had any impact on this game whatsoever. And that's a very unfortunate turn of events right here for Endpoint.
A beautiful pre-fire. She knew that once she got air jab, people would come running to her position. That game sense is phenomenal. A brilliant EU player, and she's going to challenge Aztec. She's going to come out almost even in that engagement, and they'll just walk away from that having clapped their hands together and gone, that's enough. But they're both holding in this beautiful long-distance stalemate. With 45 seconds left, she might be able to grab her. She sees her. The patience is perfect. Aztec just needs to move on in, and she's running too fast. She's too loud.
Luna is going to be aware right now. We'll be trying to go for the peek as well. It's going to be the one who shoots first, and it's Luna with the quick draw onto the pistol right there right now, trying to get the last kill, but it's Mia to come in and protect. This is a flawless round from Queen, indeed. Oh, you hate to see it right there. It's a 5-on-1 again. Right now, sending Endpoint over to the defense, see what they can do, but I don't really see this very positively.
It's going almost in exactly the same fashion we saw last map go, just like you said. It's unfortunate for Endpoint. I do feel like their progression on Villa feels much more confident than I saw them on Cafe. Albeit their map pick is Villa, so that makes much more sense, but I'm feeling like there's so much potential. They're so close, and it's almost like they're just throwing these end rounds, these last phases of their attacks. And now that the switch does happen, the Mirror 6 pick is just done for both teams.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I mean, as Endpoint right now, you gotta do something to put yourselves into a one-up position. So maybe the Mirror is actually what you're going to be needing to get the top edge of your opponent. But Endpoint feel confident to run their normal setup first. Maybe next round we'll see the mirror appearing on the board. We'll just have to wait and see. First, how this round will work out.
Almost a very similar setup to how we saw Team Queen set up. I mean, when you go this site, there's only several ways to set up. You want 90 control of some kind, whether that's from verticality or that's from holding it yourself. You'll see the Maestro Cam featured down there to be able to see under the hatch and throughout the entirety of that 90 hallway. And that's a very integral part of their hold. In fact, that Maestro Cam will be extremely important to giving them intel. And it's very interesting to me that the only hard breach we're seeing on the side of Team Queen is a Maverick. And I don't know how they're going to use that safely to try and get into side.
And it's definitely going to be a question that we will have to wait before we see the answer to it. Luna, taking point right here to lead the attack against Endpoint. Trying to clear this out quickly. Has a drone in front of her, so exactly knows what is clear and what is not. Soon 90. Oh, actually, the Maestro camera right there will be taking care of the drone. That means that for now, information will be denied. She'll have to do it on her own, as no secondary drone has come in as of yet. Taking care of the ADS right there. So, wait, didn't that ADS, wasn't it supposed to actually catch the Ash charge from the Maestro?
I wonder if, as she shot the Ash charge, she was behind the pillar, and the ADS was also perpendicular to that pillar, so it could not have caught it.
Oh, this is dangerous what you're doing right here, because there's a player right behind it, and there we go. Aztec manages to pick up that kill. However, is the Maverick still alive right there? Both managed to escape with full health. As the call is coming down, we see Aztec trying to relocate, but actually gets tagged up. It's Shadow as well. You just see a little damage being dealt to both the sides of this matchup. Luna quickly droning out, trying to get some information. Now we'll be knowing that this side of the B bomb site is actually going to be cleared out. Entry 20 being loaded. ADS getting wasted. As they want to take out that last charge right there. That's a beautiful entry coming down there from Luna. Luna will be reloading in a safe position as the plant's going down. They'll have to take care of Midnight, but that won't happen. Midnight managed to pick up one. Panda picks up one with the C4 as well. It's a 2-on-4 situation, which Endpoint should be winning right here. Yeah, swapping around back to the Maverick line that has been created. He's pulling out a goo mine. Pre-fire is coming through on the other side. It's going to be a kill yet again from Midnight. Shadow now in, trying to get the plant down. No, actually, is still doubting. Sound cue will be made. Kill comes in. It's Midnight to pick up that frag, and his Endpoint to win their first round on the defense.
What a beautiful hold there. And in fact, I will give that all to Midnight, who was able to hold all that side of the map, top floor, for a team the whole time. That was a huge mistake from Team Queen to leave all of those windows on both balcony and the door to balcony as well closed, because that allows the defenders to run around freely. And no one decided to pinch from the stairs either there. So it allowed Midnight to have full 90 and study control, which when you want to go for a vault or plant is irresponsible to have. So super well done from Midnight.
Study,
Absolutely.
Study is like the most important thing that you need at that point, because you can literally hold of the other door as well if you have it, to make sure that they won't even get an angle on the person right behind the vault door. So they missed the most critical part of that setup to get that plan going on, and thus Endpoint managed with Midnight to deny the entire round to come through, as you just said. That means that their second round is now on the board. Might be the start of the comeback that they need to bring this to Clubhouse, which we thought would be the weakest map for Queen. And I expect it personally to be played before the decider map.
I think with the way that End are performing on this map, I would say that they've got a really good chance of bringing this back quite a few rounds on defense if they play it right. You know, Izzy and Panda below, they've got the C4 potential, they've got the protection as well, they've got the Bandit, Thatcher's band, so Aztec plays really well on the Maestro. I've said this many weeks ago. She's one of the best Maestro players in the female playing community in all of Europe, so she's quite a formidable player both in intel and in gunning potential. So if they play this right, they can bring these rounds back, but Looks like Team Queen are fired up now and ready to go.
It's going to be definitely a tough one. Drones are coming in. Luna again, the first one to enter the building right here. We'll be waiting for some information to play with as she is now coming in. Does she know Midnight's position? That's the question. Will not cut the pie completely. And we'll fall back towards Bicycle. Unaware of this player right there. Actually goes off the angle. That's timing gone wrong. Midnight to pick up a very, very important frag right here onto Luna, because Luna is the one that just tears open the site time and time again. And with her removed within the minute without any damage done, this might mean that they are going to be able to pick up this round maybe quite comfortably as well, as they've disabled the spear point of the attack.
Oh my goodness. Endpoint are on fire. She zooms in. Kitty's going to get one. She's going to get traded straight back by Lure. And it's just Shishka left. And oh my goodness. Endpoint are on fire today. This is the defensive. This is why they picked this map.
Definitely so. And the kill onto Luna right there. You see it all starts falling apart. They don't have an opening right now. They don't have something to work with. And the C4 kill coming in. There's kills from other team members coming through as well. Everything just suddenly starts to turn around, and it's going to be Shiska right now in a 1-on-4 situation, which is hard to win right here. Not sure why actually, for example, Kitty just decided to rush in. There was no backup whatsoever. Finally taking care of the evil eye right there, but it's a bit too late, if I have to say so. A low likeliness of her actually clutching this out. Tries to go for the pre-fire right there in the Maestro, but takes more damage herself. Right now, she is being chased by literally every single member of Endpoint, and they will, in their turn, pick up round number 3 as well. And the comeback is on. However, this is the tertiary bomb site they now have to go to, and that is the most dangerous one into your streak.
I'm definitely feeling much more confident having seen those 2 defensive rounds from Endpoint. That is why they seem confident on this map. That is why they deserve to have a reverse sweep if they do so in the next coming round. So beautiful showing from them. The defensive setup relied a lot on the intel from below. We had both Izzy and we had Panda below, I believe, on the pulse. And by having that continual intel, they were able to C4 where they wanted. They were able to peek angles wherever they wanted. And maybe they are not as mechanically gifted as a team like Team Queen. But when you know exactly where someone is, a pre-fire 9 times out of 10 gets you the kill over them.
Yeah. Definitely so. Oh well. Next round is a fact. Zoe Endpoint now to go to Dining Kitchen. Possibly the most important bomb site that they will go to right now. This is the round where they can show that they have the capabilities of winning the complete rotation. All 3. Because if they can show that, they can actually win this one 7-5. They managed to do that twice in a row. So this round is the one that is going to be telling us who is going to have the better end of this matchup.
Some good intel operators there for Endpoint, like we said, but if they don't hold top floor correctly, the Sledge and the Ash will do some work. You'll see the grenades there on Mia. She's got Dokkaebi, who's just recently been gifted those grenades. We'll make work with those as well. And there's actually a centerpiece drone here in Memorial that will be probably a round win for Team Queen if they keep that and they're able to open verticality above. That will be so detrimental to Endpoint.
And it's very huge information being, passed on to the team right there to know exactly where Aztec is. Just a quick Ash charge from the top. Followed up by some nice quick gunshots from the R4C. Could be easily taking care of it, but first they need to get the top for control. Right now the phone call comes through. Panda trying to take care of Luna. As it's going to be Lua right there to get one spotted out. Possibly a target for that C4 to get the confirmed kill on board. Just opening up a small angle right there. Panda will be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Now we'll get peeked! We'll get saved by Izzy. On this angle right here from the top of red. Still alive, but DBN, no, it's going to be another frag to come in right there. Izzy manages to pick it up. It's going to be Midnight to pick up one as well. Suddenly it's a 4-2 situation. An effective 3-2 actually. So they're still unaware of the player that has been down. Mia now managed to pick up one of the kills. It's going to be easy to be gone. The vertical play doesn't seem to be working out right there. Is Lua to pick up Shinka. That means that it's all up to Mia now in a 1-on-3 situation. One player, however, is still down. So an effective 1-on-2. Diffuser has been down. There's 1 minute left on the clock. It's plenty of time for Mia to work with. It's just that they're unaware of the fact that one of the players is down.
A beautiful decision from Endpoint to rotate back onto site with a 2v1. There was absolutely no need for them to be any more aggressive than they were. They've also still got the Pulse on the board and the Maestro, so 2 of the Intel ops still alive. She's going to drop down. I hope Aztec didn't shoot them because that's going to give away her position. This is such an aggressive spot. She sees, she shoots, and she misses. And now with 25 seconds left, Mia knows she just has to go in. She's getting pre-fired from every direction. She has got to get this grenade if she has any hope.
This grenade is going to be the one that actually will decide it's Luna to not take any damage right there. Mia just drops in, gets the frag onto the Maestro. 12 seconds left. Swaps over to the M14, and it's going to be all up to the Pulse right now. Spots it out through the wall. It's Mia to pick up the kill. And that shouldn't have happened. That should have been Endpoint's round, and it's the second time that a round that should have been theirs. They just give it away to Queen. As Mia plays that perfectly, using the SMG up close, swapping over for the higher penetration rifle, the MK14, to just get that wallbang through right there. And that's 3-6. That means 3 match points right now for the likes of Queen. 3 points to get to the finals.
Oh my goodness, this is finals match point for Team Queen in what should not have been match point yet in this particular map, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot stress it enough. The strategy that was employed by End on that last round was almost flawless. They had a complete bait onto the trophy, the statue wall, I should say, so that they would cross over in front of Izzy's Legion, and she got double kill out of it. It's that kind of game sense, that kind of mind game that is huge. It's huge skill to be able to think of that and have those crossfires set up, and that's huge teamwork and synergy. And the fact that they lost that round came out to pure mechanical skill. That's literally all it came down to. So Endpoint now, if they win this site, very likely that they will have to go back there again and just retry what they've done, because their defensive sidedness is really impressing me, and I think that they should be winning these rounds, that they're not.
Yeah, especially that last one. It's like the third round we can say right now that they should have won, but basically purely on the smart plays from Queen and the mechanically, well, superiority right there to come into play and actually manage to clutch that round. Now, happened 3 times now, and there's definitely something that they need to check on and try to get in control, because that is definitely how you will be losing matches at some point. I don't know what it is, like complacent, like where they just
A team,
they already had it in the bag, or?
I think for Endpoint, and it was a very smart play, hide and don't move.
Yeah.
And that was the right decision, but unfortunately there was 2 seconds too much on the clock, and it gave Mia, I should say, the opportunity to take advantage of that by 2 seconds. And Siege is a game of seconds, of millimeters, so not a surprise that they were able to clutch that one out. But if Mia's not careful on this rappel, she will get taken out if Lua is still holding that superior angle she had, but I think she may have moved.
Might have been the case indeed, because slowly the 90 control, indeed, there we go, it has been established by Team Queen. That means that slowly but steadily they will be working to get the player out of the vault. As soon as the Maverick player is coming over, we'll be trying to take care of that fact. I just hope that they're not going to be doing the same thing again, which is... what are they doing here? Okay. Impact, actually smart, tries to deal a lot of damage there, but won't be able to do so. Just about 30 HP worth of damage onto Shiska. Drones now coming in. My question is, have they dealt with the Maestro camera already?
Does look like they did get rid of the one on 90. I believe there is still another over in study. Luna might have just gotten it. Midnight's waiting there for her, and if she hears this drone, she'll be able to get rid of that last bit of intel that they have for that one. Luna, a great opportunity here to get this entry, and she does. Midnight peaks when she shouldn't have. And that's it. Now this entry will go. Luna pops in. She's got 1. She's got 2. She got almost 3. She got the down. Luna's going to be the one to trade back. And looks like this is going to be a heavy gunfight. And if Endpoint want to stay in this, ladies and gentlemen, they need to win this round with only 25 seconds left.
Leaning the wrong way right there from Mia, but in the meantime, the plant's going down. They now do have the steady control that they so much desire. The C4 will be shot out of the sky, it looks like, as it will actually mean that there's only 40 seconds left on the clock right now for Endpoint to try and stay in this matchup. Seen it happen before. Aztec right now going low. Panda needs to get the frag, also needs to get the one pro right there. Won't be able to do so, and that means it's going to be Queen to be the first one confirmed for the finals against a team that has to be, had to be decided because it's Spies against NSG. That will be, one of their opponents. But honor where honor is due. They definitely put up a good fight right here. Managed to take out at least 3 rounds right here from Queen, who have been in top, flawlessly, so to say, the entire season. So there's not much to blame Endpoint for, except for those small, those small mistakes they made.